That's his theme. Hidalgo County Judge, everybody loves Raymond. Ramon Garcia joining us on 710 KURV. Judge, welcome back to the show, and we call you because we saw this write-up on the potential to save taxpayers about $50 million with a redesigned new courthouse for Hidalgo County. What was the initial proposal? Can you tell us?
Yes, the initial proposal was going to run us up as much as about $201 million.
$201 million for how big of a courthouse?
487,000 square feet.
Was that the 10-story facility that had been talked about?
I'm sorry?
Was that the 10-story facility that had originally been proposed?
That's correct.
Yeah. So this new proposal comes from where?
What we have to, are you talking about the savings?
Yeah, yes, sir. The new, I guess, the scaled back version of the new courthouse.
What we did was we scaled back down from 10 to 6, put more rooms on the various floors, more courtrooms, and we cut down on the escalators. Instead of going all the way up to 6 floors, they're going to stop at 4 floors. We cut down the number of elevators. We left out the atrium, just reduced the building in size and made it actually more efficient.
Okay, so the redesign of this new building, you're configuring it to save some money, but what about office space? I know a lot has been said about, well, the county needing the space for offices and services and things like that. What do you do with that? Where do you get that office space?
Well, we feel we've got everything that we need in a courthouse already in it. We had it in that 10-story structure. We've cut down the size of the structure, but we haven't taken out any of the different offices that we had initially designed into it.
And I know the thing that's on people's minds, how we're going to pay for this?
Well, we're going to be doing it. First of all, we got to accept the fact that we need it. It's been the one we have right now is about 62 years old. It's going to take us about $30 million to fix it. If we feel that'll be that much, we don't know yet what we're going to find once we start opening up walls. And at the end, we're still going to have a 61-year-old building, and we just spent 30-something million. That's inadequate because we're still going to have to house district courts outside the courthouse building, and like we presently have 4 mobile homes that we're operating as courtrooms, located outside the court building. We have the 430th District Court operating out of an alley. We have the juvenile court operating outside the courthouse. We have the Child Protective Services Court operating outside of the courthouse. I mean, we just need to design. We just need to build something that our county needs. And as far as paying for it, we're working it in such a way that we're not going to be increasing the tax rate.
Joining us on 710 KURV, Hidalgo County Judge Ramon Garcia.
Judge Tim Sullivan here, and where did the scaled back proposals, the redesign, where did those come from?
Well, when the plans came in initially, that $201 million estimate came with it. Well, we knew that was we had to do something, and we were concerned about the plans themselves. And so we went out there and we hired another architectural firm to conduct what we call a peer review and look over the plans and tell us whether that's what we really needed to have or what we could do that would be different, that would save some money. And that new firm, which is a HOK firm out of Houston, came in and redesigned it, and that has enabled us to save those about $50 million off the top.
And why did you go to the Houston firm? Or you're still working with ERO? I mean, they're the architects here, correct?
Well, we hired ERO for this courthouse is going to be designed in 4 phases. We hired ERO to come up with the schematic design plans, which is what we're talking about now. as having been reviewed by HOK. After this, there will be going into the design document phase, and then we'll go into the construction document phase. And we haven't selected the architects for those last two phases yet.
But at this point, the county, ERO, HOK, you're all working together to scale this thing down and make it more, hopefully, a little more amenable to taxpayers?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, we're glad that ERO accepted the changes that we proposed and are going to be redoing those plans that we have initially already paid for. And they're going to be redoing them at no cost to the county, and they're doing it within a 30-day period. So we're pleased about that, and probably as you're implying, the best of both worlds is to have our local architectural firm work with this Houston-based firm and help us come up with a final design of our courthouse.
Hidalgo County Judge Ramon Garcia joining us on 710 KURV. You mentioned that you folks are working to get this thing done without raising the tax rate. How are you working it on the side? Are you working on new user fees? You're working with the legislature? Anything?
Yes, Senator Hinojosa has introduced a bill that will increase some of the filing fees, and that'll generate approximately $1.5 to $2 million a year. The cost of the building would probably be about somewhere between 10 and 12 million a month. A year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've worked out an agreement with the city of Edinburgh, where they're going to be involved in helping us pay for the structure, and their agreement is that they will provide 20% of the cost of the building. Plus, then what we're going to be doing is restructuring our debt service. It'll enable us to be able to use the same amount of dollars and to be able to pay for this new structure.
I've got about 10 seconds left, Judge. When do we start seeing the actual construction of this facility?
Well, it'll take us about another year before we start letting it out for bids.
And where will it be constructed? I mean, the old courthouse is historic. What, are you going to build it on the parking lot of the old courthouse, or where is it built?
That's where it's going to be built.
On the parking lot. All right. Judge, thank you much. That's Judge Ramon Garcia from Hidalgo County joining us on 710 KURV.